So what do you mean when you use the word me? Now, to be a self-conscious animal, to be a conscious animal is to have perceptions, to be aware of things happening. To be self-conscious means to picture yourself as one of the things that is happening. Right? To be a materialist, which we pretty much all are now, means that you think that everything can be explained in terms of a phenomenon in this physical world. Okay. Now, as such, you'll tend to think now of yourself as a set of properties. What you are at the moment. We talk about a moment of time being a point on a timeline. But as I just have been saying and have said for quite a long time, for those that know me, the concept of a point is broken down now. We found that there were lots of important real world problems we could not solve with the concept that lines were made of points. And we had to understand the line as made of little tiny line segments, or big line segments, but at the smallest, always a little tiny line segment. Never something with no length, always some little interval. And I think this is very important because time is something going on in the real world. And I'm not a big fan of the time as an illusion. I think it's nonsense most of the time when people say that. May work to blow your mind and help you think of time a little bit, but basically, time is a phenomenon. And it's not a phenomena that has points on a timeline. Every moment is becoming. There's always change. And we know from the conservation of mass and energy that nothing really comes in and out of existence, but it's things that already exist rearranging, and they're rearranging all the time. So you are something that at any given moment is changing. It's like if you're driving a car fast down a road, you can't describe the car just as its location on the road. You have to have its location on its road, its other properties that are point like, its current properties, plus its momentum. Where is it going? Okay. So that the moment interval is also something that includes the future and past. Namely, it's the connection, it's the bridge between the future and past. So we should probably think of ourselves as me, as something I'm becoming. I'm becoming myself. Now, we could say we are the sum of our experiences only. We are not what we are going to become. We are just what we have already become to this point. But the problem with that is the question of will is not of free and unfree will, it's of willpower. How can you get more power into your will? We are material beings, and therefore we are subject to, let's call it, semi deterministic influences. And where are those influences really strong? Where are they strongest? In the past. Our will does no good dealing with the past. So if you are just what you have done in the past, then your will has no influence on what you are, because that has already happened and you can't change it, and your will not affect the past. But if you understand that you're an interval between the past and the history, and that your past has to be taken into account, but that it's only midpoint, it only comes up midpoint to who you are midpoint, and part past that midpoint is who you are becoming at that moment, at that interval of time that you want to count as a moment, be it a microsecond, a millisecond, an hour, a day, a year. You are becoming something. And when you picture yourself as becoming something, you know, you bring a new kind of mathematics like calculus. And you realize there might not be a lot you can do, but you're always going to be doing something's always going to be happening. And part of that something is in your future. And therefore, your will has a place because your will can affect the future. The car has a momentum and it's coming towards a sharp turn, but you can look down the road. You can slow down. You can steer appropriately. You can affect what's going to happen in the future. The momentum does not determine the future, though it has determined the past already. A combination of the momentum and your will. And to have a strong will, to have your will impact your life, you have to look into the future. That is the domain of the will. Ultimately, you are something that is not a being, but is becoming. You are becoming yourself. Yourself is something that you are moving toward.